Today, I'm not speaking to everyone. I'm speaking to a very specific group that the Bible calls the chosen ones. These are the people who carry within themselves an eternal purpose, something that was written before they were even born. In the Word of God, in Jeremiah 1:5, it is written, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This is not just poetry, it is a reminder that there are people who were marked from the very beginning, called to live a different kind of life. And it is for these people that this message was prepared. Maybe you have already felt that you don't fit in, that there is always resistance against you, that life seems to test you more than it tests others. Or perhaps you have noticed that certain spiritual things stir you in a way they don't stir most people. These could be clues, signs that you carry within you the mark of the living God. But pay attention, this content is not for the curious. It is not for those who came here only out of interest or to look for quick, superficial answers. If you don't feel a connection with what I'm about to say, then maybe this message is not for you. And that's okay. However, if something inside you burns when you hear these words, if your heart begins to race, if you feel that somehow I am speaking directly to you, then listen carefully until the end of this series. Because there are revelations here that only the chosen will truly understand. Throughout this journey, I will reveal signs that point to who the 144,000 mentioned in the scriptures are. These signs are not obvious, but they repeat themselves in the lives of those who have been set apart for a greater purpose. They are spiritual signs, often invisible to the world, yet clear to those who carry the seal of God. And I must give you a warning. If you are one of the chosen, do not expect life to be easy. The Bible reminds us in Ephesians 6:12 that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the spiritual forces of evil. This means that if you feel like life is a constant battle, it is because there is something within you that disturbs the kingdom of darkness. And that is exactly what we will talk about in the next chapters. I will show you, one by one, 10 hidden signs that reveal the true identity of the chosen. If you pay attention, you may discover today that you have never been alone, that there is a purpose behind every tear, every struggle, and every victory in your life. But for now, let us take it step by step, carefully, because every detail matters. Today, I just want you to know this, and that is exactly what we will talk about in the next chapters. I will show you, one by one, 10 hidden signs that reveal the true identity of the chosen. If you pay attention, you may discover today that you have never been alone, that there is a purpose behind every tear, every struggle, and every victory in your life. But for now, let us take it step by step, carefully, because every detail matters. Today, I just want you to know this. This is not just another YouTube video. It is a calling, a summons for those who have been marked from the very beginning. So prepare your heart and open your ears, because from this moment on, we are about to walk a path that only the chosen can tread. Before we continue, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss a single chapter of this series. And write in the comments a declaration of faith. I am a chosen one. This will strengthen our community and show that you are walking this journey together with us. Now that you understand who this message is directed to, let's dive into the first major point, the divine identity of the chosen. Many people go through their entire lives without ever discovering who they truly are. They grow up hearing labels, criticisms, and the opinions of others, and they end up believing that their identity is defined by what others say. But when we talk about the chosen, the story is completely different. In the Word of God, in Jeremiah 1:5, it is written, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Do you feel the weight of that? Even before you took your first breath in this world, God already had a plan. You were already known. You were already marked. This means that your identity is not built solely by the environment you were born into or by the choices you have made so far. There is something within you that goes far beyond that, a spiritual mark that sets you apart for an eternal purpose. And this is exactly where the difference lies. The chosen carry a strange feeling of not fully belonging to this world. It is as if they live between two places, the physical world with all its demands and the spiritual world that calls them constantly. Perhaps this is why you have sometimes felt out of place in ordinary conversations or environments where everyone else seems comfortable, but you don't. It is because your heart was designed for a different frequency, for something greater. This divine identity also explains why many chosen ones experience stronger existential crises than others. While most people are content with easy answers, the chosen always asks, why? For what purpose? What is the meaning of all this? And this discomfort, this restlessness is not a flaw, it is a calling. It is God nudging you, reminding you that you are not here by chance. Another important detail, those who are chosen often carry a very strong sense of justice. You may find it unbearable to witness injustice, and it shows in your stance, in your refusal to accept lies or crooked paths. This is also a sign of your identity, because what is within you cannot tolerate anything that goes against the heart of God. And understand this, it is not about perfection. The chosen is not a flawless superhero. On the contrary, they often make mistakes, fall and stumble. But the difference is that there is always a flame inside that calls them back. Even when they try to run, even when they stray, something pulls them back onto the right path. This is identity. It is not a religion that forces you, nor a preacher that demands from you. It is a soft but firm voice that never lets you forget who you are. When we speak of divine identity, we also speak of purpose. You may not have full clarity now, but there is a mission reserved just for you. And here is the most powerful part. No one else can take your place. You were chosen because you carry something unique, and that something cannot be copied. That is why when you try to compare yourself to others, you always feel that something is missing. It is because your measure is different. The mold of your life was not made by human standards, but by the Creator Himself. So, if you feel out of place, if you have ever thought you were too strange, too different, perhaps it is exactly because you were not born to blend in, but to stand out. Your identity is not an accident. It was written long before you existed. And with each episode of this series, you will see that this identity is not just a beautiful title. It manifests in clear signs, in experiences, in battles, in marks that reveal who the chosen really are. Now that we have spoken about divine identity, it is time to take a step further. This identity does not remain in the realm of ideas. It manifests in very real signs in the life of those who carry the seal of God. These signs often appear early and accompany a person throughout their journey, revealing that there is something greater guiding their story. The first sign is a persistent sense of separation. Many people may not understand it, but the chosen feel deep down that they do not fully belong to this world. It is like being in the middle of a crowd and still feeling out of place. Perhaps you have felt this since childhood. While others were satisfied with ordinary things, inside you there was always a void, a restlessness, almost a longing for a place you had never known. This is not isolation, it is not a personality flaw, it is a calling. The first sign of being chosen is a persistent feeling of not belonging. The second sign is repeated trials, which refine your character and prepare you for a greater purpose. Life's struggles are not random. They are training to build perseverance, character, and hope. The third sign is a commitment to truth, even at a high cost. The chosen cannot live long in lies. Their spiritual compass compels them to stand for justice and righteousness, even if it brings criticism or loss. These signs, the sense of separation, repeated trials, and devotion to truth, reveal a unique spiritual DNA. Further, the chosen naturally display compassion and justice, caring for others, and doing good without seeking recognition. These qualities are an inherent part of their divine identity. The essence of someone set apart by God always reveals itself through actions that reflect His heart. This compassion is not merely a personality trait, but a sign that within you burns a flame, urging you to act differently from the ordinary. Another striking point is the appearance of spiritual gifts at specific moments in life. Those who are chosen eventually realize that they possess abilities that do not originate from themselves, but arise when needed. It could be sharp discernment, a timely word, unexpected comfort, a prayer that brings peace to someone, or even a clearer vision of situations that seem confusing to others. These gifts are not permanent like human talents that can be trained. They manifest in seasons, moments when God chooses to use the person as an instrument. Sometimes they may even feel strange because they are not the result of effort, but of grace. And even when the chosen try to ignore them, the gifts reappear because they are part of their identity. There is also a more subtle but equally powerful sign, the inner echo that warns against easy paths. The chosen may be tempted or drawn to shortcuts and quick solutions, but inside there is a voice that unsettles them, refusing to let them proceed in peace. It is like an invisible brake, a warning that says, "This is not your path."